Hello everyone, and welcome back to Turkish series stars. It's always a joy to have you here, tuning in with that spark of curiosity and passion that makes this community so special. I hope you're feeling amazing, because today's topic has been roaring across timelines and headlines like a summer storm. For days, perhaps weeks, your messages have been relentless: questions, theories, snippets of supposed evidence sent at all hours. So, settle in, grab your favorite drink, and take a deep breath. We're diving straight into a story that has captivated millions: the truth about what's really going on between Barış Arduç and Elçin Sangu. From the moment their names first shared a credit, a kind of electricity followed them. The magic started on the set of Karalık Aşk, where their chemistry wasn't just believable, it was undeniable. Fans watched, hearts thumping, as glances lingered longer than the script demanded and laughter carried just beyond the edge of the scene. And as the series conquered hearts across countries and languages, the conversation spilled from living rooms into the digital world. What if that connection wasn't just for the cameras? What if the spark had crossed the threshold from fiction to reality? At first, it was simply the delicious hum of possibility. Little hints, candid photos, shared smiles at events, the kind of natural comfort that made people lean forward and whisper to their screens. Every gesture became a clue. Every caption, a code. The fandom? Loyal, enthusiastic, and wonderfully observant, studied everything with the sharp precision of detectives. A hand on a shoulder in a behind-the-scenes moment. A warm exchange during a festival reception. A playful comment under a post. The world began to imagine that perhaps, just perhaps, this wasn't a story that ended when the director called cut. The eddies of speculation swirled faster as the months passed. Were they spending time together off-set? Were their smiles more than professional courtesy? While both Barış and Elçin stayed poised and private, the aura around them only intensified. They allowed glimpses, never too much, never too little. They posed together when obliged by events, but they also shared moments that felt unguarded, natural, unforced. And that's where the tide turned from a low murmur into a full-blown wave. Fans weren't just hopeful, they were certain they were seeing something precious unfolding. But fame is a demanding companion. When attention turns relentless, every breath can become evidence. And as busy schedules pulled them in different directions, new scripts, intense shoots, international travels, the serene harmony of the dream gave way to a chorus of doubts. Social media transformed into a vast courtroom, where theories were drafted with enthusiasm and argued with fervor. Some suggested that work had stretched them thin, that life had simply put space where closeness once stood. Others, craving a sharper edge to the story, wove tales of third parties and behind-the-scenes intrigues, turning absence into accusation and silence into scandal. It was intense. DMs filled up, forums buzzed, and comment sections surged with hot takes. Every public appearance was dissected frame by frame. Every separate post was interpreted as a coded message. When the photos together slowed, the whispers turned into headlines. Was it over? Had it stopped before it had truly begun? Was there a fracture, a falling out, a sudden chill that turned warmth into frost? Into that maelstrom stepped Barış, calm, composed, and finally ready to speak. After a spell of dignified quiet that fans inevitably read as confirmation of the worst, he chose to address the rumors directly. Not with melodrama, not with sweeping declarations, but with a thoughtful clarity that felt deeply human. This wasn't a denial designed to erase a story, nor was it a fan-pleasing confirmation crafted to fuel the fantasy. It was an attempt at truth, measured and respectful, offered without sensational flourish. He acknowledged that what he and Elçin shared mattered. That the time they spent building characters together, scene by scene, day by day, created a bond worth appreciating. He made it clear that their connection was genuine, meaningful, and grounded in respect. And he was careful to avoid feeding the tabloid machine, careful not to hand anyone a weapon to twist his words. He spoke about admiration. He spoke about gratitude. And he spoke, most importantly, about their individual journeys. According to his remarks, their paths have indeed diverged, not with bitterness or accusations, but with a sober acceptance of how life unfolds for two people driven by ambition and guided by craft. The crucial point, the one that resonated across timelines and comment sections, was this: they are not together as a romantic couple. Not in the past of covert confirmations, not in the present of public labels. They are not a couple, and that is where the truth rests, quietly, respectfully, and without room for unnecessary drama. He did not dive into lurid detail. He did not assign blame or hint at betrayal. In fact, he went out of his way to ensure that no word of his could be used to diminish Elçin. When he spoke of her, there was warmth, humor, and a kind of unspoken gratitude that only two people who have navigated success side by side can share. He was adamant that, as public figures, they need some corner of their lives to remain theirs alone. The world can speculate, the feeds can spin, but they retain the right to keep something sacred, something unposted and unshared. He said, in essence, what we built together on screen was beautiful. The memories are real. The respect is real. The care is real. But our priorities are different now. Our days are filled with demanding projects, new roles, evolving dreams. And that's okay. That's life. We move forward not as halves missing their match, but as whole people charting separate maps. For the fans whose hearts were set on a fairy tale that leapt from set to sidewalk, there's a pang in that honesty. After all, so many found joy in imagining that the sparkle of their characters was just a reflection of something that glowed behind the scenes. But perhaps the deeper, sturdier joy is this: seeing two artists navigate the glare of public attention with grace. Seeing them choose dignity over spectacle. Seeing that even as 1,000 narratives swirl around them, they choose the one that doesn't wound. And what does it mean for what comes next? That was the second big question. Would they ever stand side by side in front of the camera again? Would their laughter fill a set the way it once did? Here, too, Barış was careful and kind. He did not promise reunions to feed the rumor mill, but he did not close any doors. He emphasized the persistent respect between them, the professional admiration that doesn't vanish when the credits roll. He left the future as it should be: open, unforced, honest. There's something quietly triumphant in that stance. The story we've traced today isn't a saga of victory or defeat. It's about two people who were caught in a narrative larger than themselves, who were celebrated for the alchemy they created together, and who are now reminding us that real life is not a subplot designed for our consumption. They owe the audience their work. They do not owe the world their intimacy. It's also a reminder of how easily public adoration can become pressure. When we fall in love with a pairing, we want to keep it, bottle it, demand it show up whenever we ask. But people are not episodes. They're not arcs to be planned and written. They're human beings who have to wake each day and make choices about what's healthy, what's right, what's possible. And in that light, the stance they've taken, the clarity without cruelty, the truth without theatrics, feels like a master class in boundary setting. Let's take a moment to reflect on the arc of this moment. It began with a shimmer, the flutter of possibility that first lit up when Karalik Ask introduced us to a duo whose rhythm felt effortless. It intensified with every shared frame, every candid smile, every rumor that turned a coincidence into a claim. It reached fever pitch when absence entered the chat and theories tried to fill the space that actual voices left untouched. And now, it finds its equilibrium in a statement grounded in care. There is admiration here, there is gratitude here, but there is not a romantic relationship. And so, the noise can soften. The debates can ease back. We can let the truth sit as it is, neither palatable to every fantasy nor cruel to those who hoped. We can honor the story that was told on screen, the delight it sparked, and the very human boundary that now frames it. In doing so, we also give them what all artists deserve: the freedom to pursue new roles, new partnerships, new chapters, without being tethered to a narrative that isn't theirs to live. Where does that leave the fandom? Right where it has always been strongest, celebrating the work, championing the craft, and cherishing the memories that drew us in to begin with. There will be other premieres, other red carpets, other interviews where their names may be mentioned in the same breath. And if a future project brings them together, we'll be here, ready to watch. If not, we will still be here, grateful for what they created and eager to follow each path as it unfolds. To sum up the heartbeat of today's conversation, the fascination with Barış Arduç and Elçin Sangu grew from an authentic chemistry that conquered screens and spawned a global community of admirers. Rumors then spun into a storm, fed by long gaps and the irresistible desire to connect dots that don't always belong together. And finally, with calm sincerity, Barış addressed the matter, expressing respect, acknowledging a meaningful bond, and clarifying that they are not a romantic couple, that their lives are now moving in distinct directions with focus and purpose. I hope this brings clarity, calm, and maybe even a sense of closure to those who needed it. Stories evolve. People evolve. What remains is the gratitude for what was shared openly, the work, the laughter, the gift of characters who felt like companions. And what remains, too, is the lesson that transparency doesn't have to be real. Now I want to hear from you. How did you interpret the whirlwind of speculation? Did you believe the rumors were true? What do you think of the way Barış chose to speak, measured, respectful, and focused on what truly matters? Share your thoughts below, you know I read every word. If today's deep dive helped you make sense of the noise, don't forget to like the video, it helps more fans find our community. And if there's someone in your circle who's been obsessing over this very question, send this their way so they can join the conversation, too. If you're new and you love staying on top of the stories shaping the world of Turkish entertainment, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because Turkish Series Stars has so much more coming your way. From on-set whispers to thoughtful breakdowns, from premiere reactions to candid reflections, we're here every week with content crafted just for you. Thank you for being here, for caring, and for trusting us to keep it real even when the rumors get loud. Until next time, be kind to yourselves and to the stories you love. We'll see you in the next video.